Everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to go over the Philadelphia Eagles versus the New York Jets, and as you can see, the opening odds are on the screen. Minus 104 for the Eagles and minus 112 opening for the Jets, and let's see where they are currently. Plus 108 for the Eagles, minus 126 currently for the Jets. So the Jets are more of a favorite in this one. Most people are going to put money on Philadelphia. I'm going to tell you that now. But let's see where the odds are. Let me get out of this. Let me scroll down. Okay, yeah, so not significantly, but they are 51% and 60%. But let's go over the rest of it. 1.5 point favorites are the Jets at minus 114 cost. Over under 32.5, 32.5. Minus 118 cost going over. Minus 104 going under. And let's see what's going on here. Let's see, minus 126 here, minus 106 here. Okay, we're going to focus on the minus 106. Those hit slightly more than the minus 114s, but not by much. It's only about 52.48. But we're definitely going to focus on this minus 126, negative 126 odds for the Jets. Over under. Go back. All right, my bad. 32.5 is the total, minus 118 for the over. Let's see where the money is going. Okay, 88% going over, 67% going on the money, 88% on the betting. With that being said, this minus 118, if you see this hold up, if the odds are higher in the negative direction for the over, and they're getting most of the money, consider that going with the over. And the Jets here, let's see, join the public on the total. But okay, the spread, people going heavily on the Eagles, but they're going with the Jets, even though they're only a 1.5 point favorite. So basically, it's somewhat of a pick'em game, but not by much. It is somewhat of a pick'em game, 1 point, 1.5 points. Jets look good on the odds, but the Eagles look good, period, in this game, especially if they hold this. This is relatively low. Now, when the sharps go in, they're more than likely going to place heavy money on the Eagles, and that's where the Jets will have their value. But as it currently stands, the Eagles look good across the board there. All right, Minnesota versus Tennessee. Minus 106 opening for Minnesota, minus 110 for Tennessee. And let's see where the odds are currently. Plus 162. Hold on, did it again. Plus 162 for the Vikings, minus 194 for the Titans, and 3.5 point favorites are the Titans at home. 3.5 point underdogs are the Vikings on the road. Minus 102 to minus 120 here. Over under 37.5, minus 110 over, minus 110 under. All right, minus 194 here for the Titans is getting. Let's see, the money line here, minus 194 for the Titans, plus 162 for the Vikings. Let's see where the money is going. And this one is relatively high for a preseason game, especially for the not a dominant team, but it depends on who plays, obviously. All right, minus 120 going with the Vikings here, 17% of the money, 67% of the betting going with them, 83% of the money going with this minus 120. Which makes me think Tennessee looks decent in this game. Minus 194 are their odds on the ML, though, at 47%. 47% of the money, 65% of the betting going with the Titans in this one. 47% of the money going with Tennessee. Now, obviously, this is going to change throughout the day. When the sharps go in, they're going to bet heavier toward the Vikings, especially since they're a sizable, for a preseason, sizable underdog. Plus 162, there's money to be made there. But only as it currently stands, I would join the public on the spread in the ML there. Over is getting 83 and 83. And I would join the public and go with that over. Now, in the last game, that 32.5, that has been decreasing, which makes me think that under could take it. So just keep that in mind. Watch how those odds adjust. If you see that approach that minus 110 to under, go with that under. But let's go to the next one. All right, let me scroll back up because that's the last of it. All right. Only 4 games today. Atlanta versus Dallas. Let's see where they opened. Plus 116 for Atlanta, minus 136 opening for Dallas. And let's see where the money line is. Plus 124 currently for the Falcons, minus 146 for the Cowboys, minus 104 cost for the 2.5 point underdog Falcons on the spread. 2.5 point favorites are the Cowboys at minus 118 cost on their spread. Over under 36.5. Minus 105 getting that sweet spot on the over. Minus 115 on the under. Let's see where the money is going in this one. So there's money to be made pretty much at the bottom. The under, the Cowboys. Let's scroll down. Scroll back up. We'll get to that next game tomorrow. 36% of the betting going with Atlanta. 45% of the money going with Atlanta. 53% of the betting going with Atlanta. And 53% of the money going with Atlanta. Over, under. Overs at 91%. Overs at 89% on the total. Okay, let's see. 55% going with Dallas here. Minus 146. Minus 2.5. 55% here. 47% here. Let's see. 55% here. 47% here. This minus 140. If the Cowboys go to that minus 150, they're taking this. Cowboys look good across the board here. This is relatively low, so 3 points will get it. A field goal will get the victory here. Over, under, minus 105 going with that over. Most people are betting the highest of the day, 91% and 89% going with that over. And some have it at 35.5. FanDuel has it at 36.5. All right, let's see, minus 115 here, minus 105 here. So I would go only because of that minus 105, but this can change throughout the day. By the time the game kicks off, that under may take it, but only as it currently stands. Minus 105, join the public. Cowboys approach that minus 150 as they are. They're going to take that across the board. Looking good for the Cowboys here, only as it currently stands. You see them drop to minus 140, minus 142, maybe even less. Go the other direction, more than likely. Chicago versus Kansas City. Let's go with the plus 144 and minus 172 opening, respectively, for the teams. Currently, it is plus 108, minus 126, so they have dropped in their respective directions. 2.5 points is the spread. Minus 120 cost going with the Bears. Minus 102 going with the Chiefs. Over under 42.5, and that hasn't been increasing. It was 41.5, then it went to 42. Now it's 42.5. Minus 105 there. Minus 115 is the highest total of the day. Minus 115 going with the under. I would just go with that under, even without seeing the splits. They're getting that minus 105 sweet spot, and the odds are continuing to increase, which tells me that the bettors are swaying, betting heavily on the overs. So they're trying to get you to bet that under if the under is going to take it. So over, it looks like you could join the public there. Now, Chicago's getting 95% of the money and 76% of the money on the spread and money line, respectively. So people are going to look to cash this out. Not many people are going to bet on the Chiefs today. More than likely, Mahomes will not play, and Kelsey and, their stars. So I would go with KC and challenge the public and go with KC across the board. Now, the sharps go in. They may bet heavily on Kansas City, but at 2.5 points, minus 126, relatively low money line, Kansas City looks good here. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. You guys take care. Pray every day. I've been Scott, and have a great day.